Yeah. Oh God. If you followed me for a while, you've probably noticed I'm riding differently this year, better, more confidently. Let me tell you a little story and explain what's happened, and maybe I can help you too. But first, a little history. I've been riding motorcycles since I got out of high school. I started riding dirt bikes, and next thing you know, I'm racing dirt bikes, and I got pretty heavy and serious into that for quite a while. And then in 2008, with a young family coming, I was really kind of tired of being hurt, and I put them down. Quickly, I started riding my street bike more and more. I've always had a street bike along with a dirt bike. It just wasn't really my focus. And sure enough, the way I do things, it wasn't long and I was deep into road racing motorcycles. Coaching track days, racing championships, whatever. I didn't know it then, but it was going to cause a major pivot into my life. I already knew coming into the year that my oldest child would be starting college and I would probably have to taper back. Now that I think back on it, I really think I was getting kind of burnt out on it anyways. If you know anything about the sport, then you for sure know how expensive it is. Then with the pandemic, all this track shut down and I really didn't know what I was going to do. I'm the type of guy that I have to be doing something. And I wasn't really sure what that was going to be because I sure couldn't go ride my motorcycle at the racetrack. A few weeks into the shutdown, a friend of mine who also raced motorcycles posted on his social media that he went mountain biking that weekend and it was a blast. Well, sure enough, I went mountain biking the next weekend and I think I've been every weekend since. And if you're counting, it's almost exactly 5 years ago right now. Okay, so what has changed for me coming into 2025? Two major things that I think might help some people. First of all, if I'm 5'8", that puts me right smack dab in the middle of nearly every manufacturer's size chart. So when I bought my first new bike, I for sure bought a medium. And I've always bought medium. This all changed September of last year. I happened to run into Nico Mullally at Windrock, and I mentioned to him that his new Frameworks enduro bike was very interesting looking. And he says real quickly, he's like, you should order one. And I told him that I'd bought way too many bikes already that were wrong, that I wasn't going to order a kind of expensive frame set without riding and knowing I'd like the bike first. And as luck would have it, he had one there. And as I made a video on it, he let me run a couple, 3 or 4 laps on it, but it was a size large. Well, I just did 3 laps on this new Frameworks enduro bike. And I gotta tell you, pretty sick. I like it. It's a size bigger than I normally ride. I knew that it was a size large, but it would still give me a feeling for the bike. Instantly, I felt right at home with the bike, but not just the size, also the suspension. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all, I'm gonna have a new bike, and it's gonna be one of these. So I noted down all his suspension settings, and thankfully it's the same suspension components that I prefer, a Fox Float X and a Fox 38. When I asked him what size volume spacer was in that shock, I was really surprised to hear there wasn't one. I've normally always had to run a big spacer. I struggle to have the back of the bike stand up for me. Then he told me that that shock has much heavier than stock valving in it, and that if I bought a bike, he would make sure my shock came with that same valve spec. As you know, I ordered one the next day, but I also ordered it in a size large. Over the next 4 months while I'm waiting on the bike to be delivered, I'm racking my mind trying to figure out why did this size large, which technically should be too big for me. The size large is 480 millimeter reach. Why does it feel so good? And then I got to thinking back, the best I had ridden up to this point was in 2023 on my Pivot Firebird. My Pivot Firebird actually had a really long reach. It was a size medium. It had a very long reach, so long that I almost ordered a size small. I go back and look it up. That Firebird is only a couple millimeters less reach than this large framework. The other thing I was trying to wrap my mind around is why did the shock feel so good? With compression turned on and a heavy compression tune and rebound real fast. And I got to thinking, last year I bought a Transition Spire, and it's a great bike. So many people love that bike. I know it's a good bike. But it came with a Float X2 shock, the big air can shock. You can only put 300 PSI in it. And I had it at 300 PSI with 2 bands in it. I had the Fox recommended 1 to 3 clicks open from close on rebound and compression nearly wide open. The thing felt terrible. I made videos about it all year. And then one day, a guy said, hey, why don't you slow it down some more? So I slowed the rebound down some more, and I kind of felt like it felt better, but still wasn't good. And someone said, turn more compression on. So I turned way more compression on. And basically what I was doing is, the thing would go to the bottom, and then the rebound was so slow, it would sit there. And I'd get a weird kick or deflect or buck. Oh boy! Yeah. Oh God. Just scatter off the trail. Braking bumps, forget about it. Then it made perfect sense what Nico was saying. He said most weekend warriors, amateur types that haven't done all the testing with Fox like he has, he says they get it wrong. The internet tells the majority of people you want your compressions wide open, slow your rebound down based on how much spring you got, whether it's air or coil. And this is backwards. You actually want to slow the shock down in compression, but you want it to rebound fast so the tire can stay on the ground and you get good grip. But that doesn't explain why a guy that's 5'8" needs a size large frame. And I don't think you need a size large frame either if you're 5'8". But what is different is proportionally, I'm very long-legged, and I know it doesn't look like it. People look at me funny when I say that. But the shortest striper I have on a bike is a 210. I even have a 240 on some of my bikes. I'm very long-legged for my height, so proportionally I'm different. And I've got all my bikes set up now. My 3 main bikes, my little trail bike, my e-bike, and my frameworks are all 480 reach. And I've got them all set up almost identical as far as all those numbers go. And everything feels the same and feels great. It's just my proportion. When I'm standing on the pedals, I need a little bit longer front and center. I can't explain why, but it does work for me. I don't recommend you just get a size bigger bike. I just don't. But you may want to test ride one, smaller or bigger, and see if you can get a better feeling like I did. So now that I've told y'all all of this, between the correct frame size and learning more about true shock and fork setup, maybe you can not waste a summer or 4 summers like I feel like I have. Oh yeah, the friend that posted on social media that got me mountain biking, I remember commenting on his post. That sounds terrible. Look at me now. Hey, I'm gonna be out riding all over, and maybe I'll see you there.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought.